Superman has now released in theaters, and with that being said, it is time to talk full spoilers on the movie. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here for you guys, is giving you my thoughts on all the spoilers, huge surprises and cameos in the movie, and what the future of the DCU is looking to look like. And if for some reason you haven't even seen the movie and you're still watching this video, I'm going to give you the time to click off right now. I am going to be talking full spoilers. All right, I've given you a warning. Now without further ado, let's talk. Alright, now to recap my thoughts on the movie. I was so pleased with the movie, I had such a blast, and I'm just so eager to watch it again. Now, the first major spoilery thing I want to talk about is the opening of the movie. Now, I was kind of expecting us to jump in right in the action, but I was not expecting it to be literally the first shot we ever saw in like the first teaser trailer. And that is Superman, his first time being defeated in a battle, landing in the Arctic, where he whistles for Krypto and is healed by the sun in his Fortress of Solitude. That's one thing I'm really excited to see about for the future of the DCU, is how they're going to handle just jumping right into the action. This is an already established universe. James Gunn has openly talked about how they're going to be kind of skipping origins of main superheroes, because we've already seen that a bunch of times. Another thing I actually really liked about the movie is the central story being citizens of Metropolis not accepting Superman for who he is just because he's an alien, just because rumors are coming out that he's set here to destroy the citizens of Earth and to start a new Kryptonian bloodline. And while that is kind of true, which was kind of surprising for me and kind of took me off guard, that Superman's parents sent Superman here to create a new Kryptonian bloodline, Superman has lived long enough on Earth to realize that humans aren't worth destroying. They're good people, and he wants to help them and save them. Just something I really like about Superman in this movie. Another thing I gotta talk about is Bradley Cooper cameoing in the movie, playing Jor-El, Superman's dad. Another thing in the movie I found pretty interesting is how Lex Luthor is able to create these pocket universes. It is kind of something I would think that general audiences would be a little thrown off by, because they probably don't know what that really is. But hey, I found it to be pretty cool. Getting to one of the major cameos, John Cena Peacemaker makes an appearance in the movie. Kind of crazy that this just kind of nobody superhero, or at least he was before the Suicide Squad in his TV show, made a cameo in a Superman movie. That just goes to show you how James Gunn is committed to making these kind of nobody superheroes, these big superheroes that are going to be household names in the future. He was on the TV being interviewed about Superman and the current crisis going on about, is he good, is he bad? And he said some really snarky comments. I absolutely love Peacemaker and I can't wait for season 2, but still kind of crazy he made a cameo. I also got to talk about Lex's girlfriend using her selfies to secretly rat out Lex and his plans to basically take over the world. That girl is crazy. And I loved her back and forth with Jimmy Olsen. One of my favorite parts of the movie was Krypto coming in and absolutely whooping Lex Luthor, just kicking his butt all around his Luthor Corp office. My theater was clapping and cheering when that happened. It was just so funny. Now, one thing I did mention in a spoiler-free review is that Ultraman was slightly underdeveloped in my personal opinion. Now, first I got to talk about how the Hammer of Baravia is actually Ultraman. I actually somehow didn't expect that. But also, Ultraman is secretly a Superman clone. We had heard this from recent rumors, and in the back of my head, I kind of knew this would happen, and I was really intrigued to see how they handle a Superman clone and everything, but it was kind of a throw-off sentence. Lex quickly explained, oh yeah, I used your hair DNA to make a Superman clone, and then I also used that to break into the Fortress of Solitude. Anyways, fight him now. It was a little underwhelming, but it was still some pretty cool action. And Lex using basically like video game codes to instruct Ultraman to fight Superman was hilarious. 1A, 1A, 1A was crazy. But of course, by the end, Superman wins. He returns to the Fortress of Solitude to heal. And there we get the major cameo that I was really skeptical on if it was happening. And that is Millie Alcock's Supergirl, Superman's cousin, coming in. She's drunk and is returning to pick up Krypto. We had heard earlier from Superman that Krypto is basically kind of like a foster dog to Superman, and I was a little confused what he meant by that, but now it makes sense. And then also to explain that Supergirl can only get drunk on a planet that doesn't have a yellow sun. That's why she goes throughout the universe to go to planets that have red suns. And of course, it sets up Supergirl, the next DCU movie that is adapting from Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Extremely hyped for that movie. But of course, the movie ends. And one thing I love about James Gunn is his use of music. He knows how to create a banger soundtrack. And while this movie is basically score heavy, that song at the end of the movie, Punk Rocker, was so great. 'Cause I'm a punk rocker, yes I am. And just Superman smiling as the last shot is just super hopeful, and it basically summarizes how I felt about the movie. Now, the movie didn't really set up a whole lot for the DCU, except basically explaining this is an already established universe, but man, I just can't wait to see what other heroes in the world look like, especially Batman, because I know James Gunn wants to keep that character dark, which I'm very pleased with, and I would really hope for a world's finest movie too. But yeah, I'm on a super high after Superman. There weren't that many surprises in the movie, but I hope you did enjoy my spoiler review. As always, follow me on Twitter at HuntTalksMovies or on Letterboxd at HunterTalksMovies, and I'll see you next time.